obviously just finished our first practice getting ready for Virginia Tech, and had a chance to really evaluate them the last 2 days, and they're playing really well right now. Give you a lot of problems on defense. Clearly, I think they're settling in a lot of spots. They've had some injuries early on. I think they really like the quarterback. I thought he did a great job for them the other night. Have some receivers stepping up, playing big. Trio running backs. They like their tight ends. So, and of course the kicking game. So great challenge in all 3 phases, and good first practice for us. Long way to go, and answer any questions that you have.
Any chance Nathan Emery comes back?
Sure. Yeah. He was close today. We held him out, but I think he'll be ready, man. Can we just stay on the injuries right now? Yeah, go ahead.
Outside of Nathan, is everybody else back?
I think we're good. I think we're good. You know, Demetrius Jackson has a little cut on his foot that we're dealing with. That would be kind of a day-to-day thing. Everybody else is good.
Kendrick Norton.
Again, I think he'll be okay. A little bit of an ankle sprain, but he seemed good. Again, we held him and Nick and Demetrius out today, but I think they'll be okay long term.
Please wait for a mic to come your way to ask a question.
I know you.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I know you're not one that likes that looks back, but can you see differences to the reaction to the loss to Florida State compared to last year?
Yeah, it's all forward thinking. You know, again, our guys did a good job. Everybody in the building did a good job of just coming in and you know, evaluating ourselves and learning from it. And then I thought that the leadership and the team did a great job moving on. So we've since Sunday, all of our focus has been forward thinking. I think, you know, when you watch Virginia Tech and how they're settling in now and making plays, and I think that's helped too. It really has caught our guys' eye, and I thought they came out with a good purpose today. And I think they were challenged. It was a tough practice, but I thought they did a good job in fight. So I'm very pleased, and they're very forward thinking right now, which is good. Manny.
Yeah, Al, just defensively, it feels like you guys, when you get to halftime, you make the adjustments and you fix a lot of things. What can you just talk about that? How guys are maybe picking up things better at halftime?
Yeah, you know, again, I think, you know, we have to do a better job overall. Again, you can't give up explosive plays like we did, and I think you know, our guys are you know, they came in and like I said, learned a lot from it. I think, you know, we're constantly making adjustments throughout the game, and we just have to do a better job from the start, Manning. I think obviously they're communicating and resolving issues at halftime, and we got to continue to do that throughout the whole game, not just at the half.
And it was just as a follow-up, Mark was saying, you know, coming down to the field this year, he was calling him from upstairs before. He was talking about that today. Have you seen a difference with him on the field in terms of the way those adjustments are being made? Or?
Yeah, I think, you know, we think it's a positive. You know, again, I think we just got to do the little things a little bit better than we did in that game, and look at the positives. You know, the third down, the red zone, some of the things that we did positive, and look at the things that we didn't do well, and focus on that and get it corrected.
How much was I guess the 20 yards rushing? I know there were a couple sacks, but a reflection of the offensive line,
yeah, again,
or was it FSU?
Well, again, as I said, give them credit, but the way the game evolved, I made the decision to go that route. So again, all of our focus right now is on the game plan for Virginia Tech and how we want to operate, and that's certainly an area that we need to do better this week. There's no question about it. And whether it's play calling, finding different running surfaces, calling something new, those are all in play as we go into Virginia Tech.
Hey, Al, I don't know how much you've looked at the overall ACC schedule or whatever, but the teams right now that you're competing with in the Coastal, none of them play Florida State, none of them play Clemson. Do you look at that, and do you feel that that puts you in a situation now where, you know, you've probably used your last mulligan? I mean, I know you're trying to win every game anyway,
yeah.
But it's really...
Yeah, again, and I appreciate the question, Gary. I think, you know, that's a philosophical question for, you know, people that make the schedules and do all that. I think from our standpoint, this is 7 one-game seasons. that's where we're at. You know, there's 50 days left in this season. We have 7 one-game seasons, and you know, from our standpoint, the only thing that matters is Virginia Tech. Our focus was good today. Our preparation was good, and our focus was clearly on Virginia Tech. We had good energy, and we're going to have to play really well. And that's the only thing that matters. At the end of the day, we have to control what we can control. The schedule is not one of those things. You had a follow-up, Gary? You good?
The other question I had is, I know you're busy, but I'm sure you're seeing what's going on right now in coaching with some of your contemporaries around the country. Coach Spurrier giving up in the middle of the year, essentially, and retiring. Obviously, USC, Maryland. Is there too much pressure on coaches, or do you feel that the pressure that's out there, and you know, you're certainly experiencing some of that? Is it fair? Is there too much pressure on coaches?
Again, I don't. All I can speak for myself, Gary. I mean, I love our team. I love coaching at the University of Miami. I love coaching our players. They give me a lot of energy every day to come to work and enjoy it. And I think from that standpoint, that's where my focus is. I'm not a, you know, I don't worry about all that. I'm not an internet guy. I don't read newspapers or listen to radio. I think my focus is on, my 114 players, my staff, and then obviously my family at home. And I don't really have time for anything else, Gary. So, trying to get our players to be the best they can be, trying to build a great team and a program, I think that's where my focus is, and I don't have time for anything else.
Al, you touched on the offensive line a little bit. We saw Joe Brown getting some reps with the first team this morning and KC getting some reps with the first team this morning. What do you envision their roles being? And I know you had said there would be some changes.
Yeah, we just got to keep growing there. We got to keep growing and improving, and we got to get deeper and play more people, Christy. Play more people for more reps. Can't just be a series here or there. We got to get more people into the game and stay fresher at the offensive line position. So,
do you see them getting more time or starting?
They're certainly competing for that. This is, there's no votes here, right? At the end of the day, they earn what they get, and if they can earn the trust, eliminate their MEs, play with discipline, not have line of scrimmage penalties, I think, from that standpoint, they can earn the job, and just as anybody on that offensive line can. So I love to see them. I love to see some guys step up and say, you know what, I'm better than these guys, and you can't take me out of the game.
Brad obviously had a huge night the other night, but the passes he was having knocked down, particularly there at the end, what can you do to correct that, I guess?
Yeah, so again, I think, moving forward for us, drill the things that we need to drill in terms of getting, again, it would be irrespective of the opponent, getting the defense alignments hands down, attacking a little bit better from an offensive alignment standpoint, and those are big plays. On the flip side of that, we're not getting enough on our side. We got to get more balls knocked down. So those are some things that we're working on.
Coach, real quick, can you just speak on Coach Spurrier's sudden retirement and his legacy and what he meant to college football?
Yeah, again, I think his legacy speaks for itself, both as a player and a coach. I think, even before we played them, when I would go to some of these head coaching conferences or whatever the case, he and Jerry were always, kind of the people that would reach out to young coaches and strike a conversation and be really genuine people. And so the football world will miss him, but he's left an indelible mark. And obviously he goes out, on his terms, which is how he coached, and obviously made every place he's been at a lot better.
Coach, what are the challenges of preparing for a team when you're not sure who their quarterback is going to be?
Well, again, I don't know how much they're going to change. I think obviously Motley played really well the other night, but I think both of them can move in the pocket. I think they both can pull it on the read game, and we've seen them do it. So we'll get ready for both of them. There's no question about it. But I think, like I said, I think they're settling in. They got some go-to guys at wideout now that are settling in. They have a trio of backs. I know they really like their tight ends. You could just see by the play calling and how they're trying to get, Malik or Bucky the ball, Hodges, excuse me. So I think they like their group, and it's going to be a great challenge for us. No question about it.
Coach, one of the reasons you're here is your ability and your desire to motivate these young people. How deep in the well do you have to dig right now, and how difficult is it, to really get them where you want them to be?
No, I mean, again, yes, you're right. That is my job. But it's a job that you do every day. And with this team, we've done it every day since January 12th. I think from that standpoint, that's the well that you're talking about, is that well that has been built up. And that's what now we have to go to the reservoir and use that. But in terms of this team, we haven't played one division game yet. This is our first division game. Yes, we would love to have things back in the last 2 ball games. Yes, we had opportunities. But we have to learn from our mistakes, own them, and move forward. And I think from that standpoint, we had good energy today. It was a tough practice. We need the leaders to lead, and beyond that, we need the guys that want the ball at the end of the game, or want to be on the field at the end of the game, kind of, the alpha dogs, if you will. We need those guys that continue to step up. That's what we need. We need guys to demand the ball. Want the ball at the end of the game, want to make a sack that ends the game, want to be the guy that knocks the ball loose. And I saw some of that today, and that's gonna help us. Competition is gonna help us too. I'm sorry, in the back.
Coach, I know you guys like to focus all your attention in here in-house, but would you say that the fans' expectations are unrealistic?
No, I think we all come to the University of Miami because there's high expectations. And at the end of the day, there's high standards, and that comes with the territory. Again, I think anybody reserves the right, to form an opinion or have an opinion, and I think, but irrespective of that, we have a job to do, and this is a big game. This is a really, really big game for our guys and for our program, and obviously, to try to get, a big win in the Coastal Division, and that's our complete focus right now. So nothing on the outside is gonna help that or hinder it. At the end of the day, that's where our focus needs to be.
Stacey Coley had a career performance.
Yeah.
He had a great game, a great touchdown catch. Any comments on his performance and how gratifying was that to
Well,
see?
I think, I'm happy for him because you could see he was back to playing. He wasn't thinking. He let it fly. He really did. He worked really hard. In addition to, obviously he's played a half he's played a quarter and 3/4, or roughly, this year. I think that's about it. So he's a difference maker. We miss him, and he worked really hard from last year to this year, and really nobody on the outside saw how much improvement he's made until that moment on Saturday. And it wasn't too big for him, and I'm so proud that he just trusted it and let it rip and let it fly and didn't worry about anything. Didn't worry about drops, didn't worry about anything. Just went out and played fast and played hard. So that's a big moment for him, and it should be one that he gets a lot of confidence, a lot of strength from, and just goes and plays, because he really prepared really hard, Susan, and then just played. And we had more guys in that game do that than I've ever seen. Just play. Just keep playing.
Al, I know you don't like to look back to last year, and we've discussed that, but the Virginia Tech game last year was about as complete an effort and a game as you guys had last year. Is that something that these kids can look on and build on and get encouragement from?
I don't think you can carry anything forward. They had a lot of injuries. We had some good fortune in that game. I think they're looking at the tape and doing some things. We're looking at the tape and doing some things. And I think whichever side of that you're on, it's never as bad as it comes out. And whatever side of that you're on, you can be lulled to sleep if you're on the positive side. And you can say, well, okay, Duke made this guy miss here, and this ended up being a big run, but we really didn't have this blocked here. Or we really didn't protect this, or we were fortunate on this. So I think it's really important that we, kind of have an autopsy of it and say, okay, yes, we won. Yes, things went our way, but what did we do well? What do we need to fix? And I would say the same thing from their end. They're not saying we need a whole new game plan. You can't really carry it forward. You can't carry last week forward. You can't carry last year forward. Like I said, I watching them on tape, watching them Friday night, and then watching them on tape. They look like they're settling in and playing with more confidence. going to be a great challenge for us.
Al, defensively, the last 3 weeks you guys have allowed, key touchdowns in the fourth quarter. What are you seeing in the fourth, and then also what can you do to change moving forward?
Yeah, I think we're continuing to work different combinations, and what I mean by that is just, if we're subbing, let's sub in combinations. So we're always strong. So if we're subbing at safety, maybe we don't sub at corners or linebacker on that series, or if we're sub at tackle, maybe we're not subbing at end, that kind of thing. So we're looking at different combinations. We're looking at some changes, and then obviously we have to execute better. We really do. So we have to step up and make some plays as well. We're going to have to do that to win this game. There's no question about it. We're going to have to play better for 4 quarters. And consistency has been my message. And we haven't put a consistent game in all 3 phases yet, and we're still trying to seek that.
Last question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, just what you were saying about subs, are you looking to maybe shorten your rotation late in games? Is that what you were saying? Or?
Well, I don't know. Certainly that's a scenario. But I think, just we want to continue to sub and use a lot of guys, but maybe how we do it and the combinations that we do it with might change throughout the game. Come on in, Sheldrick. You guys know Sheldrick? He's like confused right now. Sheldrick Redwine doesn't know we're in a press conference right now. Tom, can you help him out? Nice T-shirt. Only at the U.
Was it big for Barrios to get the brace off?
Yeah.
You see him getting more work.
Yeah.
Kind of where is he at in his recovery?
Yeah. You guys, how do you guys know that? How do you guys see the brace come off? It's unbelievable. He went down there today and they took it from him. So he was excited. And I think it's going to help him. I really do. Again, I think you guys all know we dodged a bullet there. He's worked really hard. It's healed now. And I think that's going to give him a lot of confidence, and he made some plays in the game, so good for him.
So, just to follow up to that question. I mean, obviously you had Stacy this last game, you had Rashawn. To get Barrios maybe involved in the slot, just what that's going to do for the offense once he's
Yeah, it should help. Yeah, it should help. He's very good at those things, and very nifty, very good at reading leverage on the run, has excellent confidence, not afraid to go over the middle. It would be a big help for sure. And then playing at the speeds. His GPS speeds were incredible in training camp. And he did a great job with his body from last year. Last year he was a little bit, he was, yoked up, because he was coming off the ACL, and we leaned him out, and he was quicker. And I think, with the knee healing, I think he'll be better off.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys, have a great day, okay?